What's up, YouTube land? Zeno Gaming here, and welcome back to episode number 27 of my Team series. And I'm back. Had a bit of a spell between the last video, but back now. I'm here to finish off this season. That's the goal, to finish this season before the new game comes out in a few weeks' time. And today we have the Hungarian Grand Prix around the Hungaroring. Love this track, always have. Just enjoy the flow of the circuit. Every corner leads into one. I love turn 4 into 5, then into that chicane. Turn 11's fast. It's a flying track. It's just really nice to drive. But here we go, straight to qualifying, and the first timed lap we're going to come around and set a 1 minute 15.0, which wasn't the most competitive lap. So same set of tyres, and we're 6/10, 7/10 almost faster. So we're going to come across the line and do a 14.3 for a 6/10 improvement. So end of the session, new set of tyres, and we're going to come around to end the session and go another 10th faster to do a 1 minute 14.1 and put us into 13th on the time to get us through safely through to Q2. We finished 14th in the session. As you see, there's a lot of penalties being handed out here in Q1, so not really sure what that was all about. But knocked out in Q1 is Giovinazzi, Russell, Raikkonen, Schumacher, Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. But yeah, a lot of penalties being handed out. But anyway, good for us. Me and Esteban both through to Q2. You can really see our car is progressing, and you can see it's all for illegal blocking. But we're going to jump into Q2 here as we go through the fast turn 4. Run a little bit wide now into 5, getting in that late apex on the throttle as smoothly and cleanly as possible into the chicane of 6 and 7, using all the curbs here. Unfortunately for me, we get a little bit out of shape on the exit, a bit too happy on the throttle, and we put it into the barrier, and that is our qualifying session over. We didn't get a timed lap in Q2, so really disappointing result here, and retiring from the session. And even worse for us, Ocon couldn't get through to Q3, being knocked out along with Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Lundgaard. So not ideal Q2 session for us, but we'll jump into the race now, and we'll see how the grid lines up. It's just a normal Mercedes front row. 5 thousandths of a second separates Hamilton and Bottas. So all Ferrari on the second row of the grid, and then Ricciardo gets ahead of Verstappen, Perez in 7th, Alonso 8th, Ocon in 9th, Gasly rounds out the 10, Norris in 11th with his grid penalty. So then there is Tsunoda, Stroll, Lundgaard, and then it will be Vettel and myself in 16th. Raikkonen, Schumacher, Mazepin, Giovinazzi. So a few penalties, obviously, for some drivers, pushing them further down the grid. But it doesn't change anything for us, these penalties, because we will still start this race in 16th, which is not ideal. We probably could have qualified a bit higher up, but if you saw at the start of the video, we do have a wet race on our hands today. But it's interesting, if you look at the graphic here, it's very, very minor rain, and it's in the middle of the race. I don't know how minor the rain is. I don't know if we're going to need intermediate tyres or what, and then it's going to go back to dry weather racing.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So yeah, Jeff's saying there's rain coming in 10 minutes, so we're going to be on our toes here. We're going to take these medium tyres to the rain period. That's what we need to do. But we're going to be on our toes for the rain. It's still quite sunny at this stage. No overcast yet, so don't know when it's going to hit, but we know it's coming at some point in this race. With the 5 red lights here for the Hungarian Grand Prix for Season 2. And we go here in Hungary, and we get a rubbish start on the medium tyre. Mick Schumacher finds the gap on the inside. He passes us immediately, and I don't think Raikkonen got that good a start either. But we go down the inside of Schumacher, and we take the apex of the corner and regain 16th place. And Raikkonen also passes Schumacher, so Schumacher got past us both into turn 1, and then lost it in the braking zone. He's now looking to get past Kimi Raikkonen. Anyway, we're looking to get past Stroll, and we almost ran into the back of him there. Had much more speed than him, 3 exit turn 4. And we avoid hitting Lance here, but we're going to try and set him up into the chicane. He's taking a tyre, I'm taking a wider one to open up the exit of the corner, and we get that. He blocks us, and we almost run into the back of him. He really chopped us off there, and we had to be pretty aware not to run into the back of him there, and we do a good job to avoid the back of the Aston Martin. So now I'll try and see if I can find a way to get past him. He's lost a bit of time already on this lap to Vettel, and we're almost pushing him through turn 11, and we're driving this car on the ragged edge here on this first lap, trying to make as many positions as possible before we find ourselves in a DRS train, which is very possible around Hungary because it's very difficult to overtake, and we almost lose the rear end at the penultimate corner as Bottas has jumped Hamilton on the first lap to lead here on lap 1 in Hungary. So now moving to lap 3, we're still chasing Stroll, first lap with DRS. You can see we just put our left tyre there on the outside curb and missed the apex a bit. We're just a bit ragged at the minute, and I felt like on the second lap I didn't do a very clean lap either. There was a few mistakes in here, and here's another mistake to top it off here on lap 3, and we end up spinning the car, and what a disaster that is. Made a decent start, hadn't made up any positions though, and now we've thrown those positions all the way behind us, and we're now last. So after that spin I got into my rhythm much better, wasn't pushing as hard to overtake Stroll obviously, and I think I just settled down into my race, and we're able to catch up to Mazepin pretty easily and overtake him easily. But you can see Verstappen and Ricciardo coming out of the pit lane. All the guys that qualified on the start of the race on soft tyres are now pitting for a set of mediums, but you can see it's getting to be quite overcast here on lap 8 as Verstappen's going side by side with Latifi and overtaking Nicholas Latifi. He's much faster at this stage of the race, or any stage of the race to be fair, and Latifi, we almost run into him there. He was so slow, a lot slower than I expected him on the exit at 4, but we managed to go in out of him at 5 and move into 19th place. But as we come around to start the next lap, lap 9, you've got a bunch of cars that were on that soft tyre coming into the pit lane for new tyres, including Carlos Sainz here, and he's come out on the hard compound tyre, which is an interesting decision, and there is definitely rain in the air here in Budapest, so that's what we're waiting for, not necessarily the strategy that just came up on screen. So Carlos has got to get his tyres up to temperature, and that's that terrible hard tyre that takes a few laps to get into the window. And yeah, we almost overtake him there into turn 4. Wasn't quite ready, but there's the rain. You see it hitting us on the screen, that little animation effect. So a rain has come here in Hungary. And now Jeff is going to give us a new strategy option to pitch straight away for intermediate, straight away. So he thinks this rain is going to be a heavier downpour, and you can see Carlos really struggling on his hard tyre. We've lost a lot of time too with cars ahead, and we've got so much more pace than him here. He's really struggling on those hard tyres. We're going to go down the inside here into turn 12, make the move stick. My teammate Ocon's in the pits. I think everybody is going to be diving into the pit lane here for a set of intermediate tyres, so we're going to be doing the exact same thing. You can see we're already losing grip here now in the third sector, and we're going to be boxing. There's a brave soul, that's Giovinazzi I think, and Alfa Romeo staying out, and also Latifi and the Williams staying out, so they're braving it here in the rain. We're coming in for a set of intermediate tyres, and I just realised that Alonso is actually behind me, and this is going to be important. So you can see here we have a bit of a slow stop with Ocon pitting as well, and when we're released, we're released behind Fernando Alonso, or in his path, so actually lose a spot in the pit lane there. I didn't realise, I thought Alonso was actually ahead of us at the time, and then he just had a slow stop himself, but no, we actually lost out there to Fernando in the pit lane, so that was a bit unfortunate, as you can see yellow flags now at the bottom of your screen, and that is because Sebastian Vettel will be retiring from the Hungarian Grand Prix due to some issue, so that's disappointing for Vettel. I don't know how his race was planning out, but that's unfortunate for him. Anyway, now moving on to lap 11 here, and figuring out a way what I can do. We've got a huge train of cars here, and I'm going to try and figure out how to overtake a few of them. We're currently sitting in 14th, looking to get past Alonso. We've got a pretty good exit and run into turn 1. We're getting a good tow from Fernando using our overtake mode, and we're going to go to the outside. He defends the inside. We're going to try and overtake him all the way around the outside of turn 1, but that did not work, so we're going to have to think about what we can do for the next time we get into that position, and maybe just go a little bit more aggressive and take the inside line. pretty hard to overtake around the outside in turn 1 at Hungary, unless you're ahead going into the braking zone, which is rarely the case here, because it's not a very long straight, so we'll see what we can do again here on lap 12. We're going to line up the same thing, go that little bit wider on the entry, then swing back in for a late apex and get on the throttle earlier. And unfortunately this time we just spin and hit the barrier. Oh, what a disaster. We crashed in qualifying, we've crashed in the race. And I was really confused as to why I spun, but all it was is I pressed the overtake button when I was on the curb and at full throttle, and the car did not like that, and I had no chance of saving it. We're in the rain here, and yeah, that's the race over. Lewis Hamilton ends up taking the victory from his teammate Valtteri Bottas, with Charles Leclerc in third there on the podium. But a really disappointing result for me. Yeah, crashing out in my first race, but it was my first race in a month. But, you know, still just really disappointing to get that result. The pace actually wasn't bad considering the time off I'd had. But on better news though, Esteban Ocon has taken home his best result for us, finishing in 4th place. So the potential was there today to have a decent result. He's 15 seconds off the win. And I assumed the conditions went back to dry, because it was supposed to go back to dry. The rain wasn't supposed to last the whole race, but now Ocon picks up good quality points for us, and that helps us keep ahead of AlphaTauri for 5th place in the constructors with his points haul. So well done Esteban for picking up quality points for the team. We're now going to make some more upgrades here with the brakes and the fuel, so hopefully that can progress us up the field. And now also looking at team acclaim and resource points, what to do with them and so forth. And I want the resource points over the team acclaim at this stage, just to develop the car even further. So hopefully those 750 points come in handy. And with those 750 points, straight away I'm going to make a durability upgrade to help improve that area of the car. And you can see here all the upgrades that we do have coming. We've got major parts coming for rear and front downforce, and then a major brake upgrade. But anyway guys, that's been today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. We've got the season break coming up, and then Belgium, so yeah, disappointing episode today. Crashed in qualifying and the race, but it is what it is. You can't do every race perfectly. I'll make sure to do better at the next one, which will be the Belgium Grand Prix. Until then, goodbye.